Have you ever looked at your phone, staring at a message you just sent, and felt that knot of anxiety tighten in your stomach? You did everything you were told to do. You were nice, you were respectful, you showed you cared. And in return, you got silence, or worse, the dreaded, "You're such a great friend." What if I told you that the very rulebook you've been using to play the game of attraction is not only wrong, but it's the exact reason you keep losing? What if the path to genuine connection isn't through more effort, more attention, or more sacrifice, but through something else entirely? Something society never tells you about. Stay with me, because the truth I'm about to share goes against everything you've been taught by movies, by friends, and maybe even by your own family. And the final secret I'll reveal won't just change your dating life, it will fundamentally change the way you see yourself. This is the truth you've been searching for. Let's start with the lie you've been sold. The great deception of our time is that if you just prove your worth to a woman through constant effort, she will eventually see how valuable you are and fall for you. If you listen to all her problems, support all her dreams, and shower her with attention, your devotion will win her loyalty. But you've lived this, haven't you? You've been the man who did everything right, who sacrificed his own time and peace of mind, only to be left behind for someone who seemed to do everything wrong. You heard the excuses, "I don't want to ruin our friendship," or the classic, "You're just too good for me." Here is the truth bomb you need to internalize right now. Women do not fall for men who are trying to prove their worth. They fall for men who already know their worth and don't need anyone else to validate it. Loyalty is not bought with sacrifice, it is commanded by strength. So what is this strength? What is the one core element that separates the men who are desired from the men who are merely tolerated? It's a concept I call outcome independence. It's more powerful than looks, money, or confidence, because it's the source from which true confidence is born. Outcome independence is the unshakable, internal knowledge that you are whole and complete on your own. It's the ability to interact with a woman, to be interested in her, but to genuinely not need any specific outcome. Whether she texts you back, goes on a date with you, or ignores you completely, your sense of self-worth does not change one bit. Now, your brain is probably fighting this idea. But if I don't care about the outcome, why would I even try? How does not caring get me what I want? Listen closely, because this is the paradox that eludes most men their entire lives. The less you need a specific outcome, the more magnetically attractive you become. Why? Because neediness is the ultimate attraction killer. When you need her to like you, when you need the date to go well, when your happiness is dependent on her validation, she can feel that desperation on an unconscious level, and it repels her. You are broadcasting a message of low value. Think about it in simple terms of psychology. The human brain is wired to value what is scarce and devalue what is abundant. When you approach from a place of neediness, you are signaling that your time, your attention, and your validation are abundant and freely available. Your actions are saying, "My life is empty, and I need you to fill it." But the outcome-independent man communicates the exact opposite. His actions say, "I'm interested in getting to know you, but my life is already full, my purpose is already set, and my self-worth is non-negotiable." Her brain registers this as high value, as scarce, as something worth earning. He is a challenge, not a supplicant. This isn't just about women. Think about a time you were desperate for a job. You checked your email every 5 minutes, you came across as needy in the interview, and you probably didn't get it. Now think about a time you had multiple options. You were relaxed, you were yourself, and they were trying to win you over. The same principle applies here, but on a much deeper, more primal level. But here's the problem. Women will tell you they want one thing, but respond emotionally to something completely different. She'll say she wants a sweet, attentive guy who puts her first, but she'll find herself chasing the man who seems to have a mission greater than her. Why this massive contradiction? Because you've been listening to her words instead of understanding her psychology. Attraction is not logical, it is emotional. And her emotions don't respond to desperate devotion. They respond to strength, to discipline, to a man who seems to have a hint of mystery. This is why she tests. Women are constantly, subconsciously testing the men in their lives. It's not because they are cruel or manipulative. It is a primal mechanism to measure your strength. Every ignored text, every mood swing, every little argument is a subconscious question. Are you strong enough to handle me? Can you stay centered when I try to shake you? The needy man fails these tests every single time. He collapses. He gets angry, he begs, he over-explains, desperately trying to regain her approval. He mistakes her test for a sign of disinterest and panics, confirming the very weakness she was probing for. The strong man, the Stoic man, passes these tests without even realizing he's being tested. He doesn't get pulled into her chaos. He holds his frame. His response isn't to fight her or match her emotional storm, it's to remain the calm, unmovable rock in the middle of it. This is what makes her feel safe. This is what makes her respect you. And respect, brother, always comes before love. So how do you become this man? Here's the catch, and it's a big one. You cannot fake outcome independence. You can't just pretend not to care. Her intuition is a finely tuned instrument for detecting insecurity, and she will spot the fake a mile away. The change cannot be behavioral, it must be internal. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism becomes your greatest weapon. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering your internal state. You must control what is within your power, your actions, your principles, your mission, and release your attachment to what is not in your power, which includes your feelings and the outcome of any interaction. First, you must build a life that genuinely fulfills you, completely independent of a woman. You need a mission. You need goals you are passionate about, friendships that sustain you, and hobbies that engage your mind. Your purpose must be so clear and compelling that a woman is an amazing addition to your life, not the center of it. When a man makes a woman his entire world, he suffocates her. She doesn't want to be your mission, she wants to join you on your mission. She feels the gravitational pull of a man who is busy building his empire, and that energy is intoxicating to her psychology. Second, you must do the deep internal work on your self-worth. Your value as a man cannot be tied to external validation, especially from women. You need to develop such powerful internal validation that her opinion of you is a nice bonus, not a necessity for your self-esteem. When you truly like yourself, you no longer need anyone else to. And third, you must expand your options. I don't mean this in a manipulative player way. I mean you should be meeting and talking to enough people that no single woman feels like your one and only shot at happiness. When you're only focused on one person, you naturally become outcome dependent. When you have options, each interaction becomes lower stakes, allowing you to be your most relaxed, authentic self. Let's see what this looks like in the real world. Imagine you're texting a woman you like, and she takes hours to respond. The needy guy panics. He double texts. He asks if she got his last message. He is failing her test. His world has stopped because she hasn't replied. The outcome-independent guy genuinely doesn't notice or care because he was busy working on his mission, at the gym, or out with friends. He was living his actual life. When he sees her response, he replies when it's convenient for him, not in a desperate rush to prove he was waiting by the phone. Or you ask a woman out and she says she's busy. The needy guy immediately offers 5 alternative dates and times, trying to lock her down because he fears losing the opportunity. The outcome-independent man simply says, "No problem. Let me know when you figure out your schedule," and then he genuinely moves on with his life. If she reaches out, great. If not, also great. His world doesn't stop. This all leads to the most important mindset shift you will ever make. Stop seeing interactions with women as a chance to get something, her number, a date, her approval. Start seeing them as an opportunity to discover something. You are discovering if you two have chemistry. You are discovering if she has the qualities you find attractive. You are discovering if she is someone worthy of a place in your already awesome life. You are no longer the applicant hoping for the job, you are the CEO conducting the interview. When you adopt this mindset, a funny thing happens. You stop being in your head, worrying about what to say. You start expressing your authentic self because you're genuinely curious about who she is, not just trying to impress her. And because you're the first guy who isn't falling over himself to win her over, she starts wondering if she can win you over. But what if you do all this? You build your purpose, you develop internal validation, you adopt this mindset, and she still loses interest. This is the fear that keeps men trapped in a cycle of neediness. And the answer to this question is the most liberating truth of all, and it will set you free. Here it is. Any woman who is turned off by you being a strong, centered man on his purpose was never the right woman for you to begin with. Let that sink in. If you being your most authentic self causes her to walk away, you haven't lost anything of value. You have simply filtered out incompatibility at the earliest possible stage. Rejection is no longer a wound to your ego, it is simply data. It is a gift. It saves you time, energy, and heartache that you would have wasted on someone who wasn't right for you. This realization removes all pressure to perform. You can just be yourself, honestly and unapologetically, and trust that the right people will be drawn to you and the wrong people will filter themselves out. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Stop trying to love a woman into staying with you. Stop believing that vulnerability is attractive before you've established strength. A woman doesn't want a man who bleeds his insecurities onto her, she wants a man who bleeds in the arena of life and comes home victorious, standing tall. She doesn't want your blind devotion or your endless sacrifices. Female psychology cannot and will not stay loyal to weakness. What she wants, what she craves, what her very soul responds to, is your strength. The strength to have boundaries. The strength to stay on your mission. The strength to remain unshaken by her storms. The strength to be a man who refuses to lose himself in the process of finding love. So the final choice is yours. You can continue playing a game with the wrong rules, a game designed to leave you feeling frustrated and confused. Or you can decide, today, to throw that rulebook into the fire. You can start the real work of building yourself into the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, because he is the prize. A man who is so grounded in his own truth, so fulfilled by his own purpose, that his presence alone is what she desires. Stop trying to give her what she says she wants, and start becoming the man her psychology is wired to respect. Because she doesn't want the man who bends. She wants the man who stands. If this message just shattered your reality, then hit that subscribe button, because we are just getting started on this journey. Drop a comment below and tell me which part of this hit you the hardest. And share this with a brother who needs to hear this truth. Until next time, stay strong.